My name is Adriana, and this is Many Roads, No Rules. I don't plan ahead what road I will take next, because I want those roads to find me, so I find myself. Please join me on this new adventure.
Hi, hello. So I am here in the middle of the desert in a beautiful, beautiful area, and delighted because I tell you, I really love the desert. And I was working in my computer, and I remembered a comment someone made in one of the videos some time ago, and I thought I want to talk about that. So that is why this one is a little an impromptu video of something that I heard from one of you not long ago. It might happen that we might get interrupted by flies. It's amazing the enormous amount of flies around here. I don't know why. I suppose I have my theories about this. People throw the rests of their food. They walk with dogs and they don't pick up after their dogs, that kind of thing. So there are other campers here, and I think the problem is people are a little careless with the things they don't need. So in any case, now it's windy, so hopefully they are not going to be bothering us that much. But this is what happened. One day, Trent, the backyard mechanic in our group, he made the comment that he had bought his van, he equipped it, and he went out there to camp in the boondocks. And while he was out there, he surprised himself saying, "What the heck am I doing here?" And I wanted to talk to Trent about that, and we're going to have him soon in a live chat for sure. And but also with everybody else, because there are so many tricks our brain plays with us. I mean, so many things we have been conditioned to not accept. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And everybody knows that since 2020, and because 2020 changed a lot of things for all of us, since 2020, prices of motorhomes and vans and used vehicles in general have been going up for several reasons. One reason is everybody wants to work from home, and therefore they buy an internet connection of some kind, and they work from the middle of nowhere. So that, of course, pumped up the prices of vehicles. Then there is the other problem about the supply chain with the manufacturing of chips that are not being built as fast as the car industry demands. Therefore, there are not so many new cars being manufactured. Therefore, used cars are in more demand because it's the only option. It's the only thing we have left, used cars, because there are not so much production of new cars. But before 2020, there were many of us that were thinking of living out here in the boondocks for one reason or another. I remember I researched about this type of life for at least 4 or 5 years before 2020, because I was not happy with the type of life I was having, like from work to home, from home to work, and then the weekends. Well, in Minnesota, the weekends mean mostly staying home, because you have 6 months where it is really dark and cold, and at least 2 months in the middle of the summer where it is extremely hot and humid. For me, that was not a life anymore. I didn't want to live that kind of life. And I'm going to close my laptop because I was working, but I am not. I'm talking with you now. And I had enough of that routine. I wanted to see places. I wanted to see those amazing things I was watching in videos from other YouTubers, like the Grand Canyon, the Black Canyon of the Gunnison River, or the Fern Canyon, I think it is in California, North California, and millions of other places that are absolutely amazing. The petrified forest in Arizona, so many incredible places that this country has in it. I really wanted to go out there and experience all of that. So it made sense to me, since I was not liking this life-work balance I was having. I was working too many hours. I was spending the rest of the time inside of my home and not seeing anybody, not doing anything else. I tried, but there is so many times in the week you can go to the movies or meet with friends. In Minnesota, meetings with friends don't happen during the winter. Nobody dares to drive to just go meet with some friends because it is extremely cold. Many times the roads are icy and dangerous, or there is a blizzard, or those kind of things. So I was deeply unhappy with my type of life, and I started dreaming of not paying rent or not paying a mortgage, not paying electricity, not paying cable, not paying any of those expenses, and just going out there and seeing magnificent things. So I did have that motivation in the back of my mind that would be with me all the time. So I started researching what type of vehicle I wanted. And I think I told you this before. First I thought of a Class A. Yay! Because you try to perpetuate what you have. You have a living room, a bedroom, a dining room, a kitchen, a bathroom. And so a Class A can contain all those different spaces. But of course, I mean, the good ones, the beautiful ones, they are ridiculously expensive. Some of them go past the $1 million. And I don't know, but probably they give you like 1 mile per gallon. I don't know, something ridiculous like that. And it was just me. So I don't need that big. So that is when I started learning, okay, we can come down in size and we will be fine. So I started researching about Class Cs. And the Class C is still, I think, one of the best things you can have, but they are still very big. And I had this plan of driving these weird mountain roads with switchbacks and huge altitude gain or huge downhills. And I started feeling uncomfortable over having a Class C and having to control that monster uphill or downhill or downhill or around a switchback or things like that. And I thought, I think it doesn't make sense. Then you have companies like Cruise America that every now and then they always have some units that they are not going to use anymore, and they sell them to the public. And before selling them, they refurbish them, they make them new. I think for whomever wants to have one of those, I think it's a very good deal to get a Class C from Cruise America. I was really interested in the 19-foot, 19-foot. It's a teeny, very compact thing, but it's still a Class C. It's a big thing, and I was thinking of the switchbacks. And then I learned about stealth camping, which is when you park in a regular neighborhood for the night and you sleep there without nobody noticing that you're sleeping there. If you have a Class C, everybody's going to know that you are in there. So that's not a good idea. So then I started researching about Class Bs. Class Bs, the good ones are extremely expensive. The not so good ones are difficult anyway because they're always breaking and there is something that doesn't work and you have to replace the headlight or the this or the that. And if you go to mechanics, of course it's going to cost you a fortune. And I didn't want to spend that much money. And we still have the problem of the very low gas mileage you get out of all of those categories. So then I started researching about trailers and fifth wheels and smaller units like a Sita or this other one, I don't remember the name now, that I really like. And that is still an option, a small, like a Sita or one of those camp. Those are maybe still an option to pull with my van, just to have a living room and a kitchen, maybe. Because they're very light, so they're not going to hurt my gas mileage too hard. But we will see. We have to wait for the gas to come down in price before we can splurge. So what I mean by all this long introduction about my research is that I was ready. For years, I was ready to hit the road. When I finally decided, because an SUV was going to make me go all like a contortionist, I didn't want to go there, even though they do allow you, if they're 4x4s, they allow you to get into places where I cannot get with my minivan. That's a plus. But I didn't want to be a contortionist. So when I started understanding minivans, I thought, yep, that is my thing. And I went for that because I can stealth park. So I can park in the middle of the city on any residential street. Nobody's going to notice that there is a person there. They don't even notice the minivan because a minivan is a soccer mom vehicle. I mean, nobody pays attention to them. And I don't know, I can take the switchbacks easily. I mean, these things are super drivable. So it was the perfect formula for me. And I equipped it and I made mistakes. And I am still in the process of reversing some of those mistakes and changing my layout again. In a month or so, I am going to take everything out and give you the new layout. But what I mean by this is, Trent, I had a plan for this type of life for at least 5 years before I started. And the point is, it surprised me because I fell in the same rabbit hole. I went like, what the heck am I doing here? I had the same reaction. So even if I was already conditioned to have this type of life, and I did it on purpose, and it was not a shade of gray where you go like, well, I will use it only on the weekends. No, my thing was jumping in the pool feet first, and no doubts, I am going to live in the minivan. So it's even if I had that very different mindset, I got surprised when my brain was hacking me and my plans by giving me that same question. What the heck am I doing here? And then you have to analyze, why does that happen? Why do we feel like we are not doing what we should be doing, and we are totally out of place, and we are doing something useless with no real meaning? The point is, our brains have been conditioned to think that way. We have, if you ask somebody, how do you feel at the end of the day if you haven't done anything for the whole day? And people tell you, oh, I feel horrible, I feel bad, I didn't do anything. And it is okay if one day you don't do anything. It is perfectly okay. We think we are going to change the world in one day. No. If I don't do anything in one day, nobody's going to notice. Nothing is going to change. I am not going to challenge anything. I am not going to jeopardize the normal course of life. It's just what we have been conditioned to think. And the other part of that formula is, you don't stray away from the flock. We all do the same things. We all go to work. We all go back home. We all buy groceries. We cook our food, or we go to a restaurant. And if that restaurant is full of cars and full of people, maybe the food is better there. So we all go to the same restaurant. And maybe the food in the restaurant across the street, the one that is empty, maybe that one is very good too. We are conditioned to move with the flock, and we don't stray away from the flock. And the problem is, we have to think, who is right? The ones that stray away, or the flock? Because if the flock is not making you happy, maybe you should stray away. But the point is not that one alone either. It's a conglomerate of lots of different details. I do believe, do you remember the romantic authors in, I think it was the Middle Ages? They would have this romantic notion of love. They would be in love with that one woman, and they would never approach her or try to get her attention or anything, and they would just write poems and books and stories about her, blah blah blah, and she never knew their names, because it was not being in love with the one person, but being in love with love. So it was the romantic idea, and because that was useless, somehow we killed the romantic idea of doing nothing, of enjoying our day. I'm going to do something to enjoy my day, and I'm going to do nothing productive. And the rest of the flock turns around, they look at us, you're crazy. How dare you doing something just for pleasure? What? And what happens is, if you have a minivan just for the weekend, like probably it is the case with Trent, And Trent, I am, I am using you as an example with utmost respect because you're my friend. But maybe you do have a minivan for those days when you want to get out of the routine, get out of the everyday same thing. And that is perfect. That is actually beautiful. The point is, for that to be successful, I propose this idea. For that to be successful, for your weekend to be really successful, have a purpose. Because again, our brains are conditioned to have a purpose. And if you just drive away and you don't have a purpose, then you get to the question, what the heck am I doing here? Because you didn't give your brain the message. We are going to do something fun today. Oh, well, but we should nothing. We are going to do something fun today. And then you come up with ideas like, I don't know, when you were a child, you went to that town and there was an ice cream shop there and you tried one particular ice cream that was incredible and you have always had that memory in your head, and you just drive to that town to try and locate that ice cream parlor and have that same ice cream and compare notes with yourself. Was the ice cream that time as good as it is today? Am I enjoying it as much as I did? And then you can tell the story of the ice cream. Hey, I went there 30 years later and the ice cream is still the same. It's amazing. I even had a conversation with them to see what they put in there that my memory recognized. Go back to your memories of places. Go look for the source or the spring of a big river. I always thought of going to the source of the Mississippi River, and then I forgot to do it. It's okay. But if you like those kind of things, go look for that source of that river you always thought about. Or you have always seen this mountain, go to the other side of the mountain to see what it looks like from the other side. I don't know, just connect with your memories, connect with your fantasies, and remember there are many types of nomads. Nomads like me, full-time nomads, always on the road, always, I prefer boondocking, rarely stealth camping in a neighborhood, rarely. That is my happy place. And maybe you are on the other side of the spectrum. Maybe you are just the once a month weekend warrior that goes on a quest for something that sparks memories in their brain or to discover something that is just absolutely enticing. And there will be people who will tell you that is just wasting gas. That is not the point. The point is you will connect with your fantasies, with your Peter Pan kid inside of you that wants to have fun, which is absolutely legitimate. It's amazing. I applaud those people who really want to get out and have fun. And I recommend, because the conditioning of the brain is going to surprise you again, I recommend just, if you have a streaming service like Amazon Premium, Hulu, Netflix, whatever streaming service you may have, just download episodes of your favorite series or download 5 or 6 movies and then hit the road. Because in the middle of the night, maybe you are not going to be able to sleep. Nothing is going to change. Nothing bad is going to happen if you cannot sleep. Just get your phone, watch your series, watch your movies, and the following morning maybe you are not going to be able to wake up at 7 because you stayed very late at night watching movies. So you wake up at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. It doesn't matter, because you are just letting yourself go and enjoy that. Get comfortable in your bed or your chair or whatever you have. You don't have to have a bonfire, a campfire. You don't have to cook. You can bring some sandwiches already made. We're somewhere in the spectrum between living in the boondocks or just going out sometimes with your camper van. Whichever part of the line you find yourself at, it doesn't matter where, enjoy it. Enjoy. And if anyone says, why are you doing that? What? I remember my daughter-in-law, I love her. She says, do you really need to do that? And it hurt me to see her pain. I was totally happy with that. But it was weird to see I was causing her pain, fear, discomfort, that kind of thing. So there will be people who, with the best intentions, they will question the need for what you are doing. And you have to learn to put yourself first, always. That doesn't mean being selfish. It means you are grateful for the life you have and you're honoring your life. So you have to try and be happy any way you want. Go and enjoy doing something. Go on a quest searching for your happiness, even if it is 2 days a month. It's okay. So go on a quest. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hearing me mumble. And please give me a thumbs up if you liked this. Let me know in which part of the spectrum you are, whether you live out there, whether you're afraid of living out there. Maybe you're afraid of being out there. It will go away. You will learn your ways. When I talk with other nomads, and some of them had been on the road for 3 years, 5 years, or even way more than that, you talk with these people and they have so much peace in their souls because they do not need to justify why they are there. That is the dream. They are living their dream. Even if your dream is just 1 day a month, make that day count and shut your brain up when your brain says, what the heck am I doing here? I am having fun. I am pampering myself. I am resting. I am doing nothing. I tried this amazing ice cream or stew or whatever you went for. I hope you dare going out there and trying that. Thank you so much for being here. You take care. Bye.